Lux, thank you so much for doing this interview with me. As we were talking before we started this, the chaos that was going on in the back, Indie Week, celebrating music not just in Canada but around the world. As a musician, how do you feel when you're seeing bands from Brazil and all Italy and all these different countries? And even though maybe trying to communicate might be a little tough when it comes to music, everybody seems to speak the same language.
Yeah. It was incredible. We played the opening night last night, and it was crazy to be on a show with not only different genres, but people that were going up and singing in completely different languages, playing instruments. I have no idea what they were. I saw some group from Nunavut. They were playing some kind of string apparatus. It was super cool because when are you ever going to see that kind of thing, especially in Toronto, right? So it's really cool to be. I think we might have been the only act from Toronto last night. So it's cool that Indie Week does that.
And I was going to say, how does it feel, man, when we're talking internationally? You are representing the home, the place where the Toronto Raptors won the World Championship. You're representing, man. How does it feel doing that?
The pressure's on, and it's especially with making hip hop and stuff like that. We have a lot of big names, so everyone knows Drake, everyone knows The Weeknd, all that kind of stuff. So when they see other Toronto hip hop artists, you kind of have to bring your A game.
How do you think hip hop has been changing? I know because I'm old. Okay, I even know where the term hip hop came from and everything else too, though. But how do you think it's been changing, and how do you think that you've been able to put your flavor to give it a little bit of spin, but still represent the genre and represent yourself and represent this country?
I think that when hip hop first started, it was very much about the rapper, right? It was all very much about if you could spit your game. It was all that. I think now it's really focused more on melodic stuff, and it's more so focused on the producer right now. If you can make a nice beat, anyone can go over it, and it can be a hit. But what I add, I think, is that I grew up in punk bands, rock bands, that kind of stuff. So I feel like I pull a lot of influence from different genres, and just kind of make music that I want to make. With the internet now, music is pretty much genreless, or it can be genreless. You can make a song that's more rock influenced but be hip hop, and vice versa. So
why did you make the switch?
I was in a band. I thought that was it. I thought I was going to be a rock star, and then the band broke up. I started producing for some of my friends who were rappers, and then one thing led to another. We made some music, put it out, and then I ended up getting to go on a couple shows with J. Cole and other big acts, and it kind of just took off from there. So
sounds like it was amazing. But growing up, though, what were you listening to, and what kind of stories do you like to tell now through your music?
I was listening to I grew up listening to a lot of punk, a lot of emo rock. But always had very much a love for hip hop with the bass and the rhythm, right? So as far as stories, there's a lot of tour stories that I probably can't say.
You can say it.
Yeah, but as of recently, I tour with a keyboard player, my buddy Jake. I tour with my brother on guitar, and so we all pile in a van and go down to the States and across Canada, that kind of thing. And weird stuff can happen living in a van with two other guys, but yeah, it's fun.
We were just talking again before we started this interview. You were saying, as we speak, new releases happening coming up right now.
A new release? Yeah. So I have a new EP coming out on this Friday, November 15th, and then it's called The Fallout. It'll be on all streaming services, platforms or whatever, and then next April I got an album dropping. So.
How is that EP representing you now in this point in your career?
It's kind of me breaking away and doing showing my new influences and that kind of stuff. Where a lot of live drums, a lot of guitar on the production. Where before I was mostly using a lot of electronic stuff. But it's more of a breakaway to try to transition into that more rocky punk sound.
Well, I was going to say, because if you, when it comes to, for example, country music for the last couple of years, even though it is country music, they've been adding in reggae sounds and stuff like that. Do you think hip hop is kind of doing the same thing, where at one point there were rules, and now there really isn't rules? It's just respecting, again, the genre.
Yeah, I think before the internet, you had to make a hit record that was popular for the times, and it wasn't a lot of experimenting, or if you did experiment, it fell on deaf ears because it was just on an album, and you had to go buy that album if you wanted to hear it. Now with the internet, you can make anything, put it out there, and someone's gonna like it, and you got a fan somewhere. So I think it gives artists the ability to kind of push the limits with their sound and just basically make whatever music they want to make, because they're gonna have someone out there is going to like it.
As we speak, what shows do you have happening during Indie Week, and what's going to come up in 2020?
So I have playing tonight at Antica, I think it's called, record store down in Toronto, and then I got The Joint on Saturday, and then the award show at Mod Club, and then 23rd, next Saturday, is my EP release show at Supermarket.
Fantastic. Social media is the place to go. Where do we go to follow you?
At The Real Luxe, Luxe.
And folks got to realize, too, we can get the t-shirt, right?
You can get it at therealluxe.com.
There we go. My friend, thank you so much for the interview. Looking forward to everything you're doing in 2020, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me.